Today I'm going to show you how I use the 30-second opening range to trade the S&P 500 micro futures. So coming in today, I didn't really have a bias, and it wasn't until the market opened where I got a clue onto what was happening. We had an opening drive to the long side, and the opening range was about 5.5 points. It was decent size, so that was a good sign for me to participate. I put in that data into my risk spreadsheet, and I got my brackets ready to go and was ready to trade for the day. So after the opening drive, I was looking for longs, but it was important for me to be cautious because a lot of times when the market opens aggressive like today, it's going to be really important how you execute and just making sure you don't get caught in any traps. So I waited a few minutes and I put in my orders to get in long. I was tagged in long and we were off to the races. So the trade was working initially, so that was a good sign for me. But what ended up happening was that the day was super trappy. Even though I did get a good entry and we stayed safe from my stop loss, the swings from being in profit to not in profit were frustrating. And something to keep in mind is if you're feeling frustrated, so are millions of other people, traders, and algos fighting the tape. This trade ended up taking around 4 hours to fully hit targets, which is a lot for me, but we did achieve it. Since the trade was working right away, even though it was a struggle to get to targets, there was no logical reason for me to be stressing over it. When the markets are in regime shift, they get chaotic, and what I was thinking in the moment was if my trade does end up getting stopped out, then what would be my contingency plan? Should I just call it a day or keep on trying? I ended up deciding that if the trade ended up not working, then I would try one more time, and it had to do a lot with the time of day. I had already been sitting there around 2 hours and the trade was working, but we weren't expanding to targets. So we did expand some, but not to my full targets. And I decided I was going to stray from my original plan and take half off. Leave the remaining half to even farther targets. And if I get stopped out, then I already paid myself. If we expanded later in the day to the farther targets, then since it was only half of the position, but a farther target than originally calculated for, it was going to equal roughly the same value. So I did that, I left and I went to the gym, and full targets did end up hitting. I'll call today a day beginning a regime shift because when markets are moving chaotic like this, trappy and a path of max pain, even if you're on the right side, to me it means the players are seeking liquidity and taking no prisoners. So they just want to get their business done. Eventually the markets will break out and recalibrate, but it's days like today that are always a test of patience, and it's good to have a plan always. We ended up the day plus 3R, so that's a win.